For the Billionaire Kingz, I'm going to allow everybody to introduce themselves from Dallas Hill.
My name is Layden Blythe.
I'm Sassan Zabeti.
All right, let's get to it.
All right.
We're going to say that we're going to go ahead and put you out there. You're the #1 CPA in the country. So.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know about #1 CPA in the country, but I try to be wise and learned through my mistakes and through my life. And I'm over here to help out some of the younger folks to
Definitely
plan their finances and everything. And one thing I wanted to say from the outset is that this kind of may sound a little bit different, but I don't believe in financial planning, and I'll get to that a little bit later, alone. Because if the focus is the finances alone, then you're missing the bigger picture. My mission and education for my students and colleagues and the clients is to approach a holistic approach to financial and life health, which means addressing the wealth, health, and legacy. If you keep those three in picture, then the planning becomes easy. Not that I don't believe in planning, I think it should be secondary. And another thing that I should say, and then if you all have any questions, and we can talk about it, is that one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they think that happiness, and perhaps we learned that from our...
What you mean, like happiness comes from money?
The happiness comes from money, or not coming from the money, or coming from somewhere else, or wherever that is.
Yeah.
That manifests in you, I think it should not be a goal. Because if it's a goal, you say, like, for example, I hear people tell me all the time, my clients, they come over here and say, well, I want a goal, I'm going to $10 million, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be retired, I'm going to be in Bahamas.
Yeah.
Well, when you get the $10 million, now what?
Bored as shit. Bored as shit. Because, man, you know, like, when I first made my first $1 million, I'm like, okay, I arrived.
Nah.
But then I had $1 million, and I was like, you know, you get my CPA at the time, God rest his soul, he's deceased now. He was like, so you're a millionaire, how you feel? I'm like, man, it feel damn good. He said, you ain't got enough to quit. I'm like, in my era, we thought $1 million, like, if you had $1 million, you ain't got to do shit.
Yeah.
But he went to calculate my kids, education, the food, the cars I drive, my mortgage. I would have been broke in 10 years.
Like me, I just got a surgery, $200,000.
Yeah, and we didn't even calculate me getting sick or having an accident or anything.
Yeah. Well,
so $1 million is no money.
No money.
I thought it was, though.
Not enough money is no money. I have a client. He got an offer to sell his hospital for $950 million.
Mm-hmm.
He refused to sell it. I'm sitting over here trying to make a lot of commission.
Right.
I went and said, what's wrong with you, man? $950 million?
Damn near $1 billion.
He said, no, this is the key. He said, no, I want $1 billion. I said, what's the difference? 950 million or $1 billion? He said, Sassan, you will never know the difference until you have 950 million.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I tell people now. They're like, oh, I had a guy to tell me the other day, oh, if I had $1 million, I wouldn't have to do nothing else. I'm like, you
no.
Keep thinking that.
Yeah, you keep thinking that you're never going to get $1 million.
Exactly. Because it's all set up for you to keep giving back. I mean, like, you got so many taxes.
That's what I say, but the more you make, the more they're going to take.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
I got a check in my pocket. I'll show you after the podcast. A client of mine just wrote a $400,000 check to IRS. And it was supposed to be $800,000.
Yeah.
And I worked it to be only $400,000. It's in my pocket.
Yeah.
I'm going to cover his name.
Yeah.
But like you said, the more you make, the more they take. The more liable you are, the more people want to sue you.
Right. Don't I know?
People come out of woodwork.
Yeah, you look up my name, you're going to see about 100 cases.
Yeah.
Somebody's always trying to sue me over some bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I own a trucking company, so I had a driver, had a load of steel, and this lady called, said he damages, something come off the truck and damaged her car. I'm like, lady, I mean, the police called my phone,
Right.
my cell phone.
They got the number of the thing, yeah.
And it said, yeah, we got a complaint. Something come off your truck and damage this woman's car. I said, 40,000 pounds worth of steel and she alive? Come on, man. I mean, you know, just.
Yeah, you're a target.
Yeah, pretty much the target. Pretty much.
Pretty much a target. So, I mean, I don't want to really sit around here and talk, but I wanted to know what the issue or whatever that you think, you know, people or folks wanted to hear. But if I got like 2-3 general advice that I can give people about the finances. But these advice are never alone just about finances.
Right.
Because the life is fleeting and is very delicate. And before you see it, it is already gone.
Right.
And if you pay all your attention to that money, you're missing out.
Definitely, because money don't make you happy, man. By the time you get the money and you start getting the assets and the cars, you be like, shit.
Yeah.
You know, that shit don't make you happy at all, man.
Like the old saying said, you know what I mean? It said, money don't buy happiness, but I'd rather be sat in the back of a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, taking care of my family is everything.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it feels good for me to see my kids, you know what I'm saying, and my wife. Everybody's good. You know what I mean? So for that makes it all right for me.
And most importantly, you're trying to give back. You know what I mean? And that's where your children. That's where the legacy part of what we talked about.
Man, I talk about that's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't care about money no more. I care about my legacy. You know what I mean? Let me give you an example.
Sure.
My father died 7 years ago. I'm in my Ferrari on I-20 going in Louisiana. I'm doing 100 and something, just not paying attention, not knowing how fast I was driving. And I got pulled over by Louisiana State Troopers. And he was like, I gave him my ID. He was like, you know Jack Hill? I'm like, yeah, that's my grandfather. He was like, so Dwayne was your dad? I'm like, how did you know that? See, you look just like him. He gave my license back and told me to have a good day.
There you go. Now
you know what I'm saying? He's been gone 7 years, but he's still taking care of me.
Yeah.
If my dad was a pimp or a drug dealer or some type of criminal, he'd have been searching the car and all kind of shit.
Yeah.
But since the type of man he was,
the son of your fathers.
I didn't get a ticket. He didn't tell me to slow down.
He's just still, his name's is still with you. You're
Exactly.
Still over, that's the legacy.
Exactly.
That's why I always say that if you plan for something that outlasts you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's your legacy.
That's your legacy.
Right.
You gotta, touch lives. You gotta
Right.
get out there and do stuff. You know what I mean? Laugh, make people laugh. I don't know what you do.
Yeah. In my case, I was in the wrong.
Yeah.
And he still let me make it because of my, my father and my grandfather.
I ain't mad at you on that Ferrari.
But man, what I want to know is that you can teach us is how to avoid unnecessary taxes. Because I be getting hit with some stuff that I don't feel like is fair.
Okay, let me tell you. Let me take about 2 minutes and answer that question.
Right.
Okay. Specific that particular question. And that encompasses not only taxation and saving money on taxes and not giving it to the government, unless you're Donald Trump, is planning. Although I said at the beginning that planning I'm not too big of. On taxation, the biggest mistake that people make, business people, individual alike, is that they think taxes are a once-a-year thing. It's the tax day.
Right.
No. Taxes are every day, every transaction. I pay taxes on this.
Right.
We pay taxes on this. We're
Right.
doing right here. You pay tax when you pump gas.
Right.
You pay tax. So you have to constantly have a plan to reduce that taxation at the tax day.
Right.
So when people come to me, a lot of them, hey, Sassan, I talked to Dr. So-and-so in South Lake, Texas, and he said that you saved them millions. I got those people. Do it for me too. I said, okay, but you come to me on April 2nd, and the taxes are due. Okay, you should have come to me on January 1 or April of last year.
Right.
Well, this year, you already created a mess.
Right.
We can't go back and change stuff. Let's clean this up as much as we can. Going forward, let's have a plan. I'm paying too much taxes. I'm a doctor. I'm making $300,000 a year. I'm paying $100,000 a year in taxes. I say, if you're making $300,000, what do you eat, man?
Right.
My liquor bill is bigger than
Right.
that. And I'm not a doctor. So, I'm kidding about that. But, so to answer your question, sir, the most important thing you can do in the taxes, to think about it as an everyday occurrence and try to figure that out.
I never looked at it like that.
That's the way to look at it. Let me give you another tip on this in a financial note, okay? There are two things. I call it the Uber effect and the Starbucks effect, and I'll tell you what that means. It's probably out there. First of all, I want to tell everybody out here that I'm not some, prophet came out of nowhere and coming with the ideas that nobody talked about. No, I'm talking about the stuff that people have been talking about it for the ages. You know what I mean? If you come and listen to my podcast, it's probably the most boring podcast ever because I don't tell you nothing new.
Right.
But here's the deal. When you look at your finances, it starts with the small incremental changes. There is not one big thing that you can do. And here's the best thing you can do. You got to look at your expenses on an after-tax, and I'll explain that, on an after-tax on a yearly basis. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that if you go to the Starbucks every morning, and I ain't no man in the Starbucks, I'm just using an example. If you go to Starbucks every day and spend $7 on a cup of latte,
there's some taxes on that.
And every morning, check it out. First of all, you pay taxes on that.
Right.
Secondly, you're not spending $7 on that latte. You're spending $10. You know why? Because you got to earn $10. Pay $3 in taxes, so you have $7. So,
damn.
So you calculate.
That's true.
It's very true.
Yeah.
If you handing out somebody $7 today or $3 or whatever, that is what after tax money. You pay them the net money because you earn your money.
Right.
You pay the taxes.
Right.
$10 you earn. You pay $3 in taxes, about 30%.
That's a $10 latte.
It's a $10 latte, but it's going to get uglier. You're going to spend that every day. That's $50 a week. That's $3,000 a year. And you're a $45,000 a year earner.
Right.
So you're spending 10% of your income every year
on
a damn
lattes.
coffee, a latte.